And Hydra has been very busy practicing, joining a lot of the races and getting better quite quickly. So, and we're off to the prologue here for Problem. I think Hydra is in a bit of a... There we go. A bit out of sync there, but I'm sure we'll get that fixed for you. So let's just hope for a deathless prologue here from both players, and then we can actually have a proper race going right from the start.
Even though the races, sorry, I had a bit of a cough there. Even though the races are a little bit unsynced at the moment at the bottom, the top timer, the in-game timer that you can see on your screen is what matters the most at the end of the run, and what the winner and loser will be decided on. So the timer at the bottom being a little bit out of sync for now doesn't matter too much. Although we have just wow, done a really good job to try and match the stream stuff. So I have no idea who works behind the scenes in the tech, but they do a great job.
Yeah, we're fine now. So off to Forsaken City. Let's go.
Okay, so I'll just touch quickly on some of the jump mechanics that you have in this game. You can jump, you can grab onto walls, you can climb, and that kind of thing. You lose a little bit of stamina if you do that, and you have a little bit of a cap on your stamina. So if you climb too much, then you're gonna fall down. And you can dash and then jump afterwards. It's called a dash jump. Gives you a bit of height and a bit of distance. And you can do a hyper dash, which is when you basically do a dash jump, but you dash into the ground. So you dash like down right or down left and then jump after it. And that gives you a bit of a horizontal boost in a certain direction.
So far, this Forsaken City is flying really quickly. problemstrol is absolutely flying through these screens. Hydra not too far behind. A bit of fortunate death there, but still holding it quite close. problemstrol with a little spike jump there. And now we're going to see the neutral wall jumps, making sure he doesn't run out of that stamina that I mentioned earlier. Finishing off that with a very, very good time of, I think that was a 1:07, which is a really, really good time for City. Hydra's about to finish off here with the neutral wall jump section as well. And then we're going to move into all side here for Problem. So we're most likely going to see Problem going for the little glitch with the dream blocks that I'm sure everyone has mentioned by now. Where your Y position gets stored when you're sipping a cutscene, and you get stuck inside a dream block and you can just dash up immediately. And gets that very first try, very nice. Problem making a very good use out of the jumping out of dream blocks to get a little bit extra height to make sure you can get some extra hypers in there for a lot of fast movement as well.
And now we're about to start the battle and chase right here on problemstrol screen, and you have an evil Madeline following you by roughly 3 seconds behind. So you have to move nice and quickly. There's a few sections where you sort of have to go back on yourself, like this one, for example, and you have to dodge Madeline on your way back. So there's a couple little tricky parts, but oh, he missed a key there, so he's gonna have to go back up for that one. But that didn't waste too much time.
Yeah, pretty nice save there. Not having to reset, so that was very well done by Problem. Hydra also now in this in the battleline chase sequence. Very nice there from Problem with movement to the dream blocks. Ooh, just barely misses the little exit there. That's fortunate.
Yeah, I believe he was trying to go for a diagonal dash after that block, but just got caught at the end. Oh, that was really close movement, but manages to get away from Madeline. And now we're on the final screen of the chase, and Problem is soaring through this one. Goes for a diagonal to the left side, which we don't see too often.
Yeah, Problem actually has the world record of the stage. So he's definitely looking to get some time over Hydra here. And was a really, really clean old side from Problem overall, except for that one unfortunate death.
Right, now that you mention it, I do remember him having the world record. Now it makes a lot more sense why he looks so damn good at this level.
Yeah, I actually was trying to practice old side earlier and looked at his world record to learn some stats. He's really good at this level, so. Hydra now also in the last movement section here.
Yeah, and now we see we see Problem going for some ultra dashes throughout this, which is when you do a hyper dash and then do a diagonal down right dash while in the air, and really pushes your momentum forward and gives you a nice boost of speed. Yeah, boost of speed.
Hydra getting stuck on that block and jumping back a screen. Can't tell you how many times I've done that because I would be way too embarrassed.
Yeah, I think a lot of people suffer through that. So we see an example of how screen transitions work on Problem Screen just there, where he dashes before the screen transition upright, and then every time you transition screen, your dash refreshes. So he manages to do a second dash when he goes into the next screen to get the key and skip a small movement section.
So now both players are also in Resort, and I think Hydra's only about 30 seconds behind right now, which is incredibly impressive actually for the first couple of levels, especially seeing how good Problem is at especially old sites. Who has a couple of fortunate deaths here on Resort for Problem there. Hydra also with an unfortunate death there in the very first room in there as well.
Manages to get through second try though, so he's still hanging in there in Resort.
Absolutely. So these coin rooms are fairly simple. You just want to collect all the coins, and then they move the blocks or open the doors or whatever the current room has. And of course, keys open doors that have locks. Just what keys do, really.
And now we have a nice cluttered segment of the run where we're going to be going through this huge mess that we see in front of us, and there are like types of blocks here basically that get in the way, and as you clear the next 3 sections and smack a button with your dash, some of these blocks will start to move away and we get to clear up the room. So basically tidying up the hotel for the hotel manager, Oshiro.
Yeah, so rather than the first room, you saw another usage of Ultra there, where he gets a huge amount of speed through that first room with that Ultra dash downwards. And they're using a bit of a spike jump to clear that section. Since spikes don't kill you if you move away from them, you can wall jump right underneath them and be moving away from them for the entire time that you're in their hitbox, which is a very nice thing of the developers to keep in.
And you may notice now there are a few more holes in the huge mess there for you to get through. So we did clear a lot from just pressing that one button, and now we have 2 more to go.
Yeah, and the sections we take here are basically the same for everyone, because we just want to take whatever Oshiro will be closest to after the section is done. He's always in the same 3 no matter what button you go for first. So just take the ones where we can talk to him the fastest, basically.
Yeah, for example, right here on Problem Screen, you're going to see him immediately get to Oshiro the second he lands into this section. So, and that was probably planned by the developers. A lot of the speed things in this game were planned by the developers, so I'm sure they planned to put Oshiro near the exit of that section, for example. Hydra getting the spike jump first try, so gained a little bit of time on Problem there.
That was a really clutch hyper jump there from Problem, almost getting hit by 2 different Rust Bunnies, but just barely manages to get through that. Very nice of him. Problem is now finished with the 3 sections. He's going to move into the elevator shaft here of the hotel, and then going to find Oshiro a little bit later in the hotel as well.
Right here, we're going to see another hyper being used to get a lot of momentum to boost into that room. So there's less need for those dash crystal, that first dash crystal at least that you see in that room.
And of course, Mr. Lettuce meant an ultra, not a hyper, but yeah.
Yeah, that. So we're gonna see a few wall bounces here on Problem Screen, and that's when you dash upwards next to a wall or something, and then you jump immediately afterwards, and it will send you flying and give you some vertical height.
We're seeing the hyper here on this, and it gets a second try very, very nicely though. And as you can see, he retries the key because it's just a lot faster to retry instead of trying to go back, because you actually keep the key on retry. Hydra now also in the final section there of the huge mess, so he's absolutely not that far behind.
And now we have Oshiro himself, and he turns into a bit of a monster here, and he's going to chase Madeline as we try and speed our way through the section. So, as well as all these little cool movement things that we have to be doing, and the cycles of the dust creatures we have to watch out for, we have to watch out for Oshiro as well, who locks into a horizontal position every few seconds, gives you a shock of lightning to warn that he's coming, and then zooms across the screen. So, we have to be careful about that and try to avoid him as best as possible.
And what should be mentioned also is the cycles do have both entry and death cycles that are a little bit different. So dying can not only mean having to retry, but also having to try to go for different strats. Problem having a bit of trouble here with this this room. One could say he's having problems. Okay, I'm done with that now.
Oh
That's
my
enough.
god. No, we're not going to mention that for the rest of the run, I'm afraid.
Yes, the timers are in-game time, not RTA.
It looks like he's strolling through this room, though.
Managed to stop that before. Takes a little safe there with waiting for Oshiro to attack. And finishes that with, what was that, a 525?
I believe it was a 525, which is it's a pretty good Celestial resort.
Yeah, really good though. So now we're gonna go to Golden Ridge, which has more mechanics. We have we're gonna have some wind, that is wind. We're gonna have bubbles that basically act as a secondary dash, and we're gonna have some clouds which act like trampolines. And speaking of trampolines, we're also gonna have springs later on, which is go boing boing and or do spring things basically.
Yeah, the springs definitely do go boing boing. And in this next room coming, oh, there's another ultra being used there by problems. But in one of the rooms coming up here, you'll see another use of a cloud where you do a dash jump while on the cloud, and because clouds are trampoline, oh, never mind, he skips it. We will see it eventually, but if you get a dash jump off of a cloud, because they give you a vertical, sorry, they just give you some height, right? So if you get that, and also the dash jump giving you a bit of horizontal distance, you see he clears that middle cloud in that room.
Now he's going to do another, a much trickier spike jump, in my opinion at least, than the one in Resort, where you have to wall jump there before, and then wall jump underneath the spike. That's the first try, like it's nothing, however. Hydra now in the third last room of the Assure fight. Still having a fairly good Resort, especially for SPB. Problem going for the auto skip and gets it without the block.
All right, well, that's pretty hype. He got that first try. So what you saw there was he went for an ultra, which he clearly seems to be good at because he did quite a few of them in old sight. And then at the end, he had to dash upright to a corner and sort of jump and grab at the same time to get a bit of a corner boost to get up there. So it's a very, very tricky trick. And he chains together a couple of different mechanics that like advanced mechanics that the game gives you, and managed to do that skip. So it's really, really impressive.
I believe that's the second one we've seen so far. Revolution also did it in his race, I think yesterday. I'm not sure if TGH did it in his
No,
run.
he didn't
actually catch that, but
he got double bubble though.
he did get double bubble. Nice.
Yeah, first try was good.
No problem getting. That was a really nice clear of that room actually. So good. I should try that. Hydra now also in the Golden Ridge section, just by the way. About a minute behind at this point, I think. Or maybe
2 minutes.
2 minutes. So he has some catching up to do here, but he's still holding his ground fairly well, I'd say.
Yeah, I would like to say Problems is having a fantastic Golden Ridge so far, like a really, really good one. And
and then
okay,
the curse
here
comes
we go.
through once again.
Yep. I'm gonna be quiet now. But we do see snowballs in the section, which I guess we should mention. And like Oshiro, but from the right side of the screen, they lock onto your horizontal position and then zoom at you and hit you. So that was yeah, it's an unfortunate death. The snowballs can be really, really painful to deal with sometimes. And yeah,
because unlike Oshiro, they're faster and they also don't give any sort of warning, so they can just sort of come at seemingly random times. It is on the cycle, so it's not actually random, but it can sort of seem like it on times.
Yeah.
Okay, he does lose a little bit. Probably loses a little bit of time over his PB there, but it's still a very, very good Golden Ridge. So.
And as you see, problems seem to be pausing here, and you might be wondering if his stream is frozen, but you can take a bit of a break in between levels. We take in-game time for deciding the winner and loser of these races. So as you can see, problems timer is paused right now, and it will start up again when he starts the next chapter here. So we take in-game time. So players are allowed up to 90 seconds break, technically, if they want it.
Yeah. Most players will just go through it because of being nice, but I think Problem was actually talking a bit in the stream, so break was well deserved, I guess. So now we're moving to Mirror Temple, and of course there's new mechanics. We have these red bubbles that are basically infinite dashes in one direction until you either dash out of them or hit a wall. And these dash blocks here that just move on their trajectory when you dash in the room.
We also have switches that when you dash into them, they open a little gate so you can get through it. So we'll see that used quite a few times throughout this level. Yeah, like here, for example.
Hydra also in the last harsh wind section here of Golden Ridge.
As we see, problems go for an intended shortcut that was put in by the developers to skip having to get a key and open that little gate there, so you can just go above the room and through it.
So now we're gonna meet our new friends, the Seekers, and I'm gonna go ahead and explain them because I don't trust Sal to do without saying something dumb. So the Seekers are basically going to home in on Madeline's position later. But for now, we're actually going to take control of one and going to try to eat our own face, which I'm sure is a great metaphor for something. So navigating this section is actually a lot trickier than it looks because the way the Seekers move is actually incredibly fast, and they have when they bounce on things, they bounce very heavily. So you can sort of bounce off walls in very weird ways. So it might take you a couple of tries to actually learn how to do that in the fast way. Probably using a bit of that momentum from that dash block there to just get through that room just a little bit faster than normally.
And you'll see another thing that the Seekers can do is these little keys that we have to click. We can actually bait the Seekers out to hit those keys, as you saw problems do there. So we use that quite a few times throughout this section to get through the rooms a bit quicker. And also the explosion of the Seekers can do it, as we saw just there.
Yeah, I think that audio problem is on your own, Blue. I hear the audio just fine as well. So Hydra now finishing up Golden Ridge there, and he's looking at about a 3-minute deficit so far from Problem. Which still, looking at their PBs, is actually very impressive from Hydra. He's keeping really good pace so far. So he might be looking to try to PB here, actually.
Problems just did search skip, which is it's a section that we skip search using a pretty cool reverse extended dash jump that we just saw over there. So that's pretty impressive. It skips a 1 to 2 minute section where you have to collect a couple keys.
I think it's actually the one skip that saves the most time in the game. So we're gonna see almost all the runners going for it.
Now I hope you're ready for Theo's section, because this is Theo in this crystal, and unfortunately we can't dash while we hold Theo, so we can't just hold him and do a bunch of hyper dashes and stuff to get through the screens. But what we can do is we can hyper dash before picking him up, or do any of the different various jumps and dashes and grab him and then carry the momentum forward with little bunny hops after we do the dash. So we'll see that used a lot in this section.
Problem is a really good player, so he's absolutely soaring through this Theo section. Gets that momentum as well from the hyper block with Theo, which is really, really cool as well. He's absolutely flying through this Theo section. Oh, but then, of course, the commentator's curse comes in. Having a bit of trouble here with this one room.
He's flying through this Theo section, dies 3 times. But no, you'll see a lot of the strats that Problems is going for are very, very difficult top tier strats. So it's understandable to see deaths here and there.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you just do a neutral wall jump with Theo?
I'm not sure. It definitely could be possible, but I don't know.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, and Problems having some problems at the end of that room, but he managed to make it there in the end. The Theo landed about a pixel away from the eye, so we had to go grab him and got pushed back a little bit, but that was pretty fun.
So Hydra now also going to become the one with the Seekers and then move into the unraveling section. So, but meanwhile, Problem is gonna literally fly into Reflection using these feathers that are a new mechanic, which is basically just it allows you to fly for a little bit, either until it runs out or until you dash out of the fly animation.
I can't believe you just sang a new mechanic. That was brilliant. Right here, we're going to see a leg skip from Problems, possibly, where you dash upwards, get a wall bounce, and then you get another one in the air, just under these spikes here before you get to the spikes hitbox. And he does that perfectly well, so really, really good leg skip on the 3rd or 4th try.
Yeah, I think it saves time as long as you do it before, like, about a 3rd or 4th try without dying, so still, at least he breaks even there. Normally, we'll go around and use what we call Kevin blocks, which he's going to use in the next room, I think. Yeah, these blocks are called Kevin blocks because of the wonderful man who created the noise of them. They basically just go in a direction to where you hit them.
See a good use of a neutral wall jump there, just to climb that. And we're going to see Problems do a hyper and grab onto that block so it falls before the crush block gets to it. That's what the Kevin are actually technically called, crush blocks. We also see a bit of a diagonal dash there to make use of the momentum to get an extra bit of height as well as horizontal momentum.
Yeah, it's actually a wall bounce, I believe.
Okay, alright, well, I guess you know the terms much better than I do.
Pretty sure it was a wall bounce up on the block, but then got the momentum.
Oh, you know, that's why I can't do that strat. Thank you very much.
Oh, you were
I don't know how to do it. I would always diagonal up left dash and hope it worked, but okay.
Yeah, then
awesome.
you just lose the momentum, so it doesn't work. So you actually
wall
have
bounce,
to.
ladies and gentlemen.
It's a wall bounce up, and it's actually used in some of the B sides. Very similar strat. I think actually it's the 5C. It's literally the only mechanic of one of the rooms. So it's wall bouncing onto a move block.
I'll use that in practice. Thank you very much. We see Problems there doing a thing where if you dash into those bumpers, those pinball bumpers, and you hold the direction you're traveling in at the same frame you hit it, then you get an extra bit of distance. You like double the distance that you travel.
Problem now in the last little feather section here before we're gonna start chasing Badline down again. And of course we have to talk to our not our grandma, but a grandma. Now coming into the Badline chase scene here. And Hydra is now on the Theo section as well. Having lost a little bit of time here in Mirror Temple overall, at least compared to Problem. But he still seems to be on fairly good pace, so yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on his time here in a bit.
And Problem had a little bit of an issue getting through that shortcut, but he managed to do it without taking a death, which is very important because we actually skip a few checkpoints while going through that fall because we take the shortcuts. So yeah, it's deaths are really, really painful there because you end up towards the top of that room.
So now we're also going to see Problem probably do the little Badline boost through the cutscene and gets it very nice there. So he uses the momentum once again from the Kevin blocks in order to just gain a huge amount of speed through that entire little section before the Badline fight. And also skips cutscene. I think he did it almost very perfectly there. He keeps some of the momentum there to get to Badline even faster.
Yeah, and the battle and fight here is it's a really cool idea for a platformer because you can't really have like HP bars and stuff like that and fights as normal. But every time you dash into her, it's like you're almost hitting her and taking some HP off. So it's a really cool part of this game, and makes for a really interesting boss fight.
Yeah, I like to just say that we're basically just running into her and punching her face. That's how I see it, at least.
Oh yeah, just a lot of punches to the face, which is it's got to happen. It's got to happen.
So yeah, there's not really any new mechanics to these battling rooms, but it's quite a lot of fairly precise platforming and trying to make some of the tighter cycles of battle lines attacks here in order to avoid some deaths.
I would say that you do see Madeline use like 2 different methods of attacking you. So these lasers right now is what we see. Earlier she was shooting balls at us, and she's really good at throwing her balls at you. So you have to watch out for that too at the start of this fight.
Yeah, in some rooms she's actually alternating between them as well. So if you like miss a cycle by like something, she just might suddenly change attack pattern as well. Hydra now also moving into reflection about 5 minutes behind, which is still actually fairly impressive, to be honest. Actually, it's a bit more.
It is quite impressive, but at the same time, like Problems has definitely solidified his lead over the past 2 chapters, considering how close they were going into like Golden Ridge.
And that's sort of expected because Problem is, after all, like top 8 at this game currently.
Yeah, he is the
Hydra being a bit lower, but yeah. So it's an expected result, but Hydra is actually keeping it closer than I originally thought. So that's really cool.
And we now have Problems going to the final room of the battle in chase, and it's just a little bit of precise cycle to get around these lasers that he's going to be doing. But he's going to go here to probably a okay. I was expecting some sort of reverse dash jump at the end from Problems, but he does it pretty fast and pretty safe. But yeah.
So now Problem has gotten the ding level up. And got himself a second dash and also pink hair color, which of course is all we really want in life.
I just wonder what dye she used, because it's really vibrant pink hair, and you think it would take a couple more dyes to get from red to pink like that quickly and effectively. But yeah, the hair color is actually you may have noticed throughout the game. Her hair color is red when she has a dash, blue when you don't have a dash, so if you've used one and you're in midair and haven't regained it yet, and now it's going to be pink if she has 2 dashes, which is going to be used a lot in this chapter to good effect. Okay, so to talk quickly about Summit and what it's about, what the level's about, we see right here, this is a sort of reflection-looking section. I didn't mean to rhyme, but it works. And you can see the spikes and the grass and things like that sort of resemble the chapter we were just last on, as you can see on HydraSR still. But so this is 0 meters, I guess we call it. And then throughout every 500 meters, you're going to see a different chapter from the game. And the different mechanics that come with each chapter.
Yes, now we're going to see him into the 500 meter section and the chapter 1 sub-chapter here of the summit. So we're going to see a lot of the same mechanics as we did in the earlier chapters, but of course it's going to be quite a lot harder since we have, after all, learned to platform during these our adventure here on these chapters.
And also having 2 dashes allows us to like experiment and experience the different mechanics of each level in a completely different way, which is really cool to see as well. Also, we have some beautiful music. The soundtrack of this game is wonderful, and this is really like a nice climactic music for the end of the game.
Yeah, just wait until 3000 meter. That's really when it. The 3000 meter section of this soundtrack is really cool. So now we're just going to go into the 1000 meter section, which personally is my second favorite part of the entire run, actually, just because of the satisfaction of watching them go through these stream blocks. Of course, when I say that, Problem is going to hit a wall, but nailing this is probably one of the most satisfying things I can think of in this game. Hydra is now also moving into the battle line section. Well, a bit of an unfortunate death underwater, but moving into the battle line fight here. If you keep this up, it might very well be on PB pace, I believe.
Oh, okay, so on problem screen, you're seeing he's getting a lot of speed out of these dream blocks, some of the dream blocks, which, you know, you don't see as much in, like in Chapter 2, for example. And that's because he's actually doing a hyper dash out of the dream block, which was found out to be possible a couple months ago, I believe, or at least between, you know, the top runners of the game, and they brought it in so to the strats. So you'll see that a little bit from problems in that section.
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually a good thing to mention. Also, he's actually problem might actually also be on PB pace if he does the summit clean enough. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. So we're in 1500 meters now, which has some of the longest rooms here, and they can be very punishing, but they have some fairly cool fast strats. I think in the next room we're going to probably see problem use ultras in a very cool way. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, but misses it and goes into the dust plane. So there you actually sort of have to use the entry cycle to get this ultra strat properly. Seeing it have a bit of a problem here. Hopefully we'll see. There we go. Nails that ultra this time. Perfect. Does that perfectly on third time around. Very nicely there.
We take the shortcut going downwards there, which is basically for a strawberry, but it's a little bit faster than the, I guess, intended casual route without strawberry.
Hydra now also close to the second segment of the battling fight, which I forgot to mention earlier, is when Battleline actually starts moving the ground around herself, which at least casually makes for a lot of harder platforming. But of course we have some fairly optimized strats for it now. So Hydra problem didn't have many problems with it, and I don't think Hydra will either.
And we got our lucky strawberry in that room. Throughout the entire run, I think that's the strawberry that's most common for players to get. And just to note, strawberries don't actually matter at all. Like, you don't lose or save any time for picking up a strawberry throughout the run, at least in-game time. So it won't affect the outcomes of anything. Oh, and Problems accidentally lifts the block a bit too high there, so it hits the wall. But he's going to be going for an auto-scroller skip here, where he does an extended hyper dash, and then because we have 2 dashes now, he can do 2 dashes in the air to reach that platform.
Yeah, and just like most of the other skips, you use the momentum from these blocks, which adds a lot of speed to your own dash techniques. So those sort of skips are possible because of it. It's similar thing to with the Kevin block strat from Chapter 6 entering the battleline fight. Ooh, Problem having a bit of troubles there with doing those ultras. It's fairly tight. Ooh,
yeah,
just barely get it there.
That's a diagonal dash that I don't think I've seen from any runner, to be honest. I haven't even seen like TGH go for that, the world record holder. So Problems having some cool strats up his sleeves, and I'm trying to get them as consistent and as quickly as possible here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess we forgot to mention that on the end section of each of these parts, you're going to see Battlein help you out a little bit, which is something you'll work out why if you play the game casually.
So now we're moving into the, in my opinion, coolest section here, the 2500 meters, because there's almost every room here has some form of skip or just really cool fast strat. For example, there you see him using a dash from the other room to get enough height there. He's getting a huge amount of speed on that moving platform there. He's going to do a bunch of ultras and dashes, just zoom through this room, and then comes key skip as well. Instead of having to go down and get a bubble, we can just wall jump up there and then grab that key there.
Yeah,
and,
this section is this section is filled with a bunch of really cool strats, and as you're about to say, Hydra finished the Battlein boss fight, is now finishing up Reflection and leveling up.
And he is actually looking very much on PB pace. His PB is like a 48 flat, and he has about like 16 minutes to do that. So we could very well see another PB here from this tournament. And did Problem just get door skip?
Let's pretend he didn't, so we don't have to talk about it. No, he did get door skip. It's known as a little bit of a meme within the community because it saves a second, and runners used to go for it quite a while ago when their PBs weren't so good. But yeah, the door skip, just a couple pixel tight jumps and dashes that you have to do to get through the section without hitting the switches, and Problems managed it perfectly well. And wow, unfortunately takes a bit of a fall there in this section, but right here is 3,000 meters of summit, and you're going to see a lot of wall bounces throughout the entire summit. And what I like about this is that the wall bounces are there as an option, but there are so many different ways to traverse this section fast. So depending on your skill level, you can take all of the wall bounces or only do some of them, and you'll have some runners that don't even do any at all because, you know, they're just not comfortable with that aspect of their mechanics.
Yeah, Hydra getting a bit of an unfortunate dash there, getting stuck between two pillars. Has to retry in this room, but he's also now in summit, working his way through the first 500 meters here, going into chapter 1 in just a couple of rooms. Problem meanwhile is just running through this start of the 3k meter with the downdraft. Downdraft just gives you a lot of higher gravity here in the first start, but as soon as we talk about it, he's out of it and going into the updraft section.
Yeah, that was an incredibly fast section, as expected from someone of Problems level. And going into the updraft section here, it's basically the reverse of the previous section, where we get less gravity. So you fall for longer, your dashes last a bit longer, you jump higher, things like that. So we'll make use of that, and the level design definitely matches that mechanic to great effect.
Some very, very long checkpoints here, with a couple of really pretty harsh jumps here right at the end, but Colin gets through really with little trouble. Hydra now in the 500 meter section here, working his way towards that top of the mountain.
Right, and in terms of like the sections being quite difficult and long and have costly deaths, we do see these checkpoints every now and then, so don't think he's going to go right to the start of this screen transition if he dies. He will go back to a checkpoint, and some of them, as the previous one, you'll see he skips some of the checkpoints because they're very out of the way and would take too long to grab, so it's a little bit of a risk because you die in the next section and it's going to lose a lot more time, especially for a tournament race, but the runners generally know what they're doing and which ones they're going to skip.
He's working his way now through the 5 final checkpoints there, and Hydra about to finish up his 500 meter section. Yeah, Problem is definitely gonna take this race, but I believe Hydra is still in really good PB pace, so we'll have to keep watching for that. Oh, with an unfortunate death there from Problem on flag 3 here. It's a fairly precise little feather section there. Just a lot of spikes can kill you really quickly if you mess up.
Problem's trying to skip the checkpoint that he just went past by doing a little bunny hop over it, but he didn't actually end up skipping it.
So Problem was finishing up here now on checkpoint 1. So then I finished with a time of 33:37, which is not quite PB, but it's still an incredibly good time. Just about 30 seconds off speed. So that's really, really well done by Problem there.
Yeah, that's one of the best times we've seen so far in this tournament. We've had a couple 31s, some 32s, but a 33 is a really, really solid time, as expected from someone with his PB time.
Problem now just showing off a bit of his movement here in the F-block screen as well. Hydra now finishing up the 1000 meter section, going into the dreaded 1500. It's one of the hardest sections here for most players, so we'll see how he deals with this.
Okay, so while we possibly get Problems in for an interview, I don't know if the man even uses a mic, but we'll see. I'd just like to touch a little bit on the... I just lifted my finger off the push to talk button again, didn't I?
So you did.
Yep. Okay, so yeah, because even though Hydra has lost this race, his time still matters, because when they leave the group stages, the top 4 of each group will go on. Oh, as Hydra's a bit of a tough spot there, I had to reset, but the top 4 of each group qualify for the next round, the bracket play. But they all get seeded based on their average race times. So if Hydra does end up coming in the top 4 in his group, every time he gets in these races will matter for his seeding for the next round. So even though he gets a loss here, he can still get a really, really good time that helps him with that. and could it possibly PB as well. So he's got some personal achievements to be getting here as well as, you know, just the race win or loss.
Yeah, it does look like he's having a bit of nerves here, having to retry cut a lot here in the 1500 meter section, but he's working his way through it now. He's like, oh, gets hit by that dustbin on the way down. That's very unfortunate. Gets through it though.
I would just like to touch on the schedule for today as well, because we have a lot of people here that I'm sure love watching a bit of Celeste tournament races. So we've got quite a few coming up for the rest of the day. If you join us in about 15 minutes on twitch.tv/speedgaming5, we're going to see a race between Moose SR and Robin94. So that's going to come up very, very shortly. And every hour throughout today, we're going to have a different race for you to see until 9 p.m. Eastern time. So there's a lot of Celeste to be played today. So make sure you're following all the Speed Gaming channels from 1 to 6. And yeah, let's hopefully see Hydra PB here, because that would be really, really cool to see. We've seen a lot of PBs, so it would be cool to see one in this race as well.
So Hydra's PB is at least on Speed.com, it's a 48 flat. So
he has an unrecorded 46.
Okay, even with that,
but he's still definitely PB, yeah.
He can absolutely PB with this. So even with that, he still has like 8 minutes, so it's a 14:30. I don't know what his usual summit times are, but for his time, it should be a little bit, at least a bit under 14. So this is looking fairly good for him.
Yeah, he got a first try auto scroller skip, and you know it's definitely not a nice, easy trick to pull off. So really, really.
No,
good
I can barely do that. So
yeah.
Then again, I haven't practiced it that much, so it might be my fault, but still very nice by Hydra.
This isn't about you, Swessy. This is about Hydra and his chance to PB, okay? Let's keep it about him.
Gee, I'm sorry. So finishing up here, some unfortunate retries here, missing the little bunny hop he's trying to do here.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see that room and many of the other rooms in this game, how different runners tackle things differently. And like in that room, for example, there are a bunch of arrow blocks. You'll have some runners that won't like grab onto any of them, and you'll have some that will. And it's just interesting to see all the different ways that different players adapt to what they're given in each given screen.
Yes, now it's coming up to the 2500 meter section, so about this time I'm assuming some of the nerves might pick up for him here, so hopefully...
As we see immediately, unfortunately.
Ooh.
Yeah. But this is it's a very, very difficult section, 2500 meters, and there are a lot of cool skips and stuff like that, so, oh no, this is unfortunate. We might be seeing a case of the nerves here from Hydra, but it's a very difficult section, and if he can get through it in decent pace, then he'll still be able to PB, so.
Oh no, he can't do that, Hydra. Thank you.
He opts to go for the more casual strat there, just to get out of the room, because he doesn't want to get too tilted in this section and lose too much time.
He misses that dash there. He's having a bit of trouble here. I think this is the nerve picking in a bit, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is scary. Hydra, we're all rooting for you. I know you can hear us. You can do this.
He tries to go for that without the small little setup.
Oh no!
Oh, nobody got it!
Gets it, buddy. Oh no, that's a oh, there we go.
Okay,
that'll do. That'll do. We can still PB, Hydra. We can still
Hydra
do
still
it.
has this.
We've got
We're
5
all
minutes.
rooting for you.
We can do it. You bashed your desk way too hard there. I'm not gonna lie. I apologize to any viewers who just need to visit the ear doctor after that. Really good use of momentum there as well off a dash block from Hydra, which looked really fast, and I don't really see too many runners going for, but that was fantastic.
A bit of trouble there, squeezing through those spikes. Wait just a little bit longer.
Hydra, get through the gap. No. Oh, he lost his dash.
Oh, I didn't use it.
He did it.
There we go. Okay,
we're gonna see door skip. He's going for door skip.
He's
the
going for door
absolute
skip.
madman. Oh my god. First try.
He gets it first
Let's
try.
go.
What is this?
Oh,
Who
this
is this
PB,
man?
I'm so excited. This man can die 10 times on one of the first screens in this level, but then hits door skip first try. What a player.
God, that's. Oh, then he dies in the last room. No, Hydra.
Please, we need you to PB. We have about 5 more minutes. I don't know what sort of 46 his PB is, but oh man, he has 4 more minutes basically. It's going to be really, really close. He's going to have to have a solid 3,000 meters, but he's got the entire chat cheering for him. So,
Oh no, he doesn't
exciting.
retry. Misses the last little jump there on the spike on the blocks. That's really unfortunate. That's going to lose quite a lot of time.
Okay, we just need you to get. Oh no. No, I was just saying we need him to get through this section. Please, you can do it. We need some hype in the last 3,000 meters. Okay, I'm not saying anything until he touches battling. Okay, we're in.
Oh Jesus!
We're
I
in.
was way too close to jump there between the spikes, but
I think in order to cheer Hydra on here, we need to do a countdown. Every time he hits a checkpoint, I want to see that number put in chat, and we can count him down, see if he gets this PB, because it's getting close, man. We're on the final climb. And that is 29, if I can read correctly, which I believe I can, so he's getting there. $28.
tries to go for a little cheeky skip. Gets it, second try with a nice.
27.
Misses the wall bounce there, unfortunately.
26. Oh no, every time I say a flag name, he dies, so you know what, I'm gonna leave it up to chat. We'll just see
That
how
sounds
it
good.
goes.
They're doing a really good job with it so far, so just keep going at chat. Send Hydra the power.
We're sending him our PB power right now, and hopefully it's gonna work. Okay, Hydra, we're gonna need you to stop dying here, my friend, because we need to see this PB. You can do it.
He's still in good pace, but it's getting fairly close now.
Okay,
It's
we had a
always
really
important.
solid section there with a couple wall bounces.
Oh,
Oh,
and then just
God.
misses the last Valdos because you said something. Stop cursing the
Okay,
man.
I am letting go of my push to talk button, and I'm not pressing it for the rest of the race.
Okay, I don't have an adoptive section here. Hopefully he has managed to regain some of the nerves, because these can be some really punching rooms otherwise. Yeah, Salad has left a bit.
At least he retries fast, says someone in chat, and that may actually come down to decide whether he PBs or not in this run. Yeah, so we'll see.
That very close save there by the spikes with the God. This is incredibly tense.
Yeah, this is the most tense I've felt since watching England lose to Croatia a couple nights ago, which was possibly one of the most painful experiences of my life. But Hydra just hit flag 12, and he's making his way really, really quickly through the summit.
So according to Discord comment, he has a very high 46. So even with just a minute 2:46, the 46 mark.
He skipped a checkpoint.
We might very well
skipped
see
a
a
checkpoint, and he died. No.
That's so unfortunate. No.
No!
Accidental 10 skip. Hi, this man playing with our emotions like they're nothing.
He missed it
He
again.
skipped it again.
Oh my god. He's doing it on purpose, isn't he? And he makes it. Oh my god.
Okay, gets to 9 this time.
Whew. Okay. Okay, so I don't want to get anyone too excited, but this section can be completed if you do it as quickly as possible in about 45 to 50 seconds. And if it's true that he has a high 46 as a PB, then this can happen. This can really still happen. See him at number 4 now, just makes that without dying on the spikes. He's gonna get
Very
the
nice
feather.
there with the little wall bounces there. He gets to flag 3 now with this fairly precise feather part here. It's gonna be hard. Hopefully he doesn't. Oh, you can see the feather visibly shaking
No!
when he goes.
Stop dying, please. You can do
Hydra,
this, Hydra.
no!
We're so
No,
close.
don't do the wall
Don't
bounce.
do the wall bounce. Not that early. Okay, he gets the feather again. We've got to get through this section. This is probably the hardest section left. He gets it with some.
Oh no, he misses again.
No, he misses it again. I wonder what his PB is at this point. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, Hydra.
Hydra with
No.
the 3,000-meter choke. This is so sad.
Flag 3, this is so sad. Can we get 5,000 likes? Like, it's getting so close to the end. We've only got a couple more flags left. The 46 is now impossible, and he's not going to be able to PB. Oh, man.
Oh. Yeah, it's definitely these tournament nerves coming through. This is so unfortunate. Or not even the tournament nerves, but the PB nerves. And it's really unfortunate for
Yeah.
Hydra. As he played incredibly well up to this point, but just... Oh, man. Yeah, the last for the summit can just... combined with some nerves about when they're about to PB, it can be really difficult. So
You know what? He finishes this with a 47-11. It's close to his PB, and we had some great entertainment. So I think we give him some props for that in chat. Give him some good games, because that was a fantastic run and fantastic race, and I really enjoyed both runners.
absolutely, I agree 100%. It does beat his recorded PB, as someone said in chat. So he still has that. And it was a very solid run, like up to like about reflection and some. He had kept very, very good pace with problem, especially when you compare it to PBs. So it was very unfortunate that he had some nerve problems there, and possibly even a bit of commentator courtesy of yours truly.
It wasn't me, all right. I know you want to blame me, but I think we'll put that down to
No, I'm
Hydra's
blaming
nerves.
both of us. I'm blaming
Right.
both of us.
Okay, thank you. I don't want to take all of the blame. I don't want to have 10 people at my Twitter telling me it was my fault. But yeah.
All right, so go
fantastic
check out
race.
Salad's Twitter and say it was his fault. Thanks.
Don't do it. Don't do it at II Salad. But yeah, so this race was fantastic. Again, we've got so many races coming up today on the schedule. We have Speed Gaming 5 right now. If you head over, is going to be hosting Moose SR against Robin94 in about 5 minutes. So get yourself over to twitch.tv/speedgaming5 for another wonderful race, and we hope to see you there. That was a sick race.
Yeah. So thanks for watching, everyone, and see you on Speed Gaming 5, and then for all the more races that are coming up. So
Yeah,
see ya.
I've been Salad, he's been Swessy, and we'll see you later.